push with Phoenix, Dragonite, Clockwork, and their 5th support, and then Quapple solo. That's at least what it looks like to me right now.
And I'm fine with that. The Invasion, again, they saw that Signature Trust were not ready for, if they were watching that game or replay against MVP Phoenix, they'll know that Signature Trust did not have a great time dealing with the death ball or even split push with the heroes that they grabbed. And so Signature Trust kind of have to figure out how to deal with this lineup of Invasion Esports. They do have the Juggernaut, which is a nice pickup. It's not the hero it once was, but it's still very strong. They don't have that Magnus to buff it up. They could still go for it and put him in the offlane theoretically. Earthshaker line duo with the Juggernaut down bottom just to secure Lakel's farm. He's a great carry player if he gets the room. Brian K-Pop was actually pointing out that no team gives more gold to their carry than Signature Trust. They're very greedy in that regard. Like, he gets the most gold per carry, I think, than any other, by percentage, I guess, than any other team. So. And
where does he get that gold? I assume that means, like, they go do other stuff while the carry just farms for, like, 20 minutes or something. But there's also something to be said that there are some games where you can get more gold by getting hero kills. So while it does, on average, give you more gold than your opposing teams, if the fights go well, that's the best way to get gold. So that may be their weakness. If the fights go bad with the 4-man, sure, the Juggernaut or whatever will have more farm than your opponents do, but it might not be enough to take the advantage over your opponents who may have been killing your allies more than you killed theirs.
It's very different. The last patch was like you could get away with the Troll being the top in the net worth and still winning the game. This patch does, it seems kind of like the opposite. It feels like if you have that top 1 hero, I don't know if, it's kind of rare to see that hero come out on, that team come out on top, honestly. So Zeus is going to be picked up for Signature Trust as their last pick, which I think is a very solid pick. But
good against Dragonite, not so good against Phoenix, not so good against Clock, but it's okay against, I'm sorry, not good against Clock, but it's okay against Quap, is what I meant to say. So I think it's okay. Winter Wyvern for the last pickup, very good against Jug, I would say.
And
you can use it through his spin. If those two heroes are close by, you can make them do damage to one another. I think that's pretty cool. But this Invasion's draft looks a little, they don't have the best lockdown. They've got Dragonite stun, and then they have some soft disables from the Winter Wyvern and the Clockwork and the Phoenix, I guess. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Invasion draft, but I think it's all right. What's up?
What's up? That's what they say as we jump into the game. First game that I've casted today for SEA. Woke up a bit, a long time ago actually. I stayed up pretty late. Just because like my sleep schedule was so screwed up. I was so tired yesterday. I went to bed at about 1, got up at 1. So 12 hours, woke up, went downstairs, got some breakfast a little bit later.
I think that's what I would have done if I didn't force myself to stay up. I stayed up almost 24 hours to adjust. I think I only casted 2 games, maybe 4 games with some hosts yesterday. So I half-assed it, and now I'm ready to go for the whole day.
Yeah, I'm hopefully ready to go for the whole day. We'll see how things turn out. Game 1 of a best of 2. Thank you to Lurker Dirk for doing the stats for us today. We're on the Scotty stream, and we're going to jump into this 2-game series. Again, this is meaningless for Signature Trust, other than let's play a game of Dota. Let's see if we can have some fun. Let's see if we can develop some new strats as a team. Maybe even get a victory. Spoil the party of Invasion. And Invasion need a 2-0 every series right now. They can't afford a 1-1 here, correct?
They cannot. If they get a 1-1 here, they're out no matter what, I believe. Because that would put them at 2 points, and with their last game, that would put them maximum to 5, and there's pretty much, there's already 2 teams that are at 4 points, I believe. So it's very, very unlikely. If they 1-1 this, they're almost guaranteed out. So they have to win every single game and take the win here. Oh, look at this weird Observer Ward. Very, very, almost never see this be placed here. Quap is the most, Purge was right. That's all I need to see. Okay, I'm happy. I like the Observer Ward though. It's almost never warded here. They're not going to find it. It will spot. This is actually a really good ward for spotting supports. If you look at this little vision patch over here. Can spot supports rotating over. It's not amazing, but you might be able to get some vision. It's very unlikely to get dewarded, especially against a Zeus, which is one of the best things about it.
I am a big fan, actually. I'd like to see more of those wards placed. It's so very, like at the beginning when they added the Roshan pit there, some teams were putting it there, I feel like, but everyone else has kind of since then just gone for either more aggressive wards or something of that nature. But Invasion Esports, they'll start with the Queen of Pain at the top lane. They also have Extinct playing the Winter Wyvern. He's going to actually just block the creep move a little bit, make sure that 1 melee creep comes out. Mid lane, it is going to be Chibai. That's not the right name, I think.
It's that's Slicks, I think, isn't it? Oh no, Slicks is playing Quap safe lane. I'm sorry. I'm actually not sure.
I just had I had Wikipedia up, and now it's just gone. That's unfortunate.
Handle that in just a moment. Shadowfang actually went for Raise level 1 here. to get some extra last hits, and that's going to guarantee him a couple more golds, and hopefully the fast bottle, which is really what he needs to beat a Dragon Knight, I think, because Dragon Knight comes up to melee range for last hits, so if you get the fast bottle up, you should be able to not only get last hits, but also nuke and zone him a little bit. So I like the Shadow Fiend here in this matchup. I feel like it's SF favored. Obviously, if Dragon Knight does really well, the first couple last hits, it's going to be a problem for SF, but I feel like he's going to be able to make up the disadvantage at some point.
Yeah, that's just Shadow Fiend. Head to the jungle, double raise the creep wave, go take stacks, and hope that your supports are stacking for you. And my pro is already at 6 last hits, but meanwhile, elsewhere, I mean, Invasion are not doing poorly. The Clockwork has got 4 last hits. They have the support Phoenix zoning out heroes. Top lane, Queen of Pain has 6 last hits. Lakel's has 3, so already he's off to a bit of a slow start. Cog push nicely will take out some of his mana. He even has a Glowing Blade just to make this a bit easier. He'll deny a couple of creeps. But so this is a dual lane, aggressive dual lane against a tri-lane. Job's trying to zone out at as best as possible, but Hex up, Chop. All right, yeah, he's fine. Just kind of casually throws the Hex there.
It was a little bit of a scary position for the line. If he did get a battery Cog out, could definitely be a kill here. They're actually shifting over to catch the Zeus. That's a hero that could very easily die. He doesn't have boots, actually, and there is a boots on the Clockwork, and this could be the first blood here. Battery Assault coming through. He doesn't want to use Cogs until a bit later, and this should guarantee that he doesn't even have to Cogs, honestly. What an easy kill here on the Zeus. And the ward, the important ward, ended up spotting the Zeus being there. I don't know if they saw him earlier or if they just predicted that, but a huge first blood going for Invasion, and that's a bit more gold going to Clock, who already has boots, now is an extra 500 gold.
And he's going to get some
maybe another
as
kill.
Well. He already gets the Cogs, the Battery Assault going through. It's on cooldown, yeah. It's a pretty long cooldown. And Chatan will have it in 4. Can they get this kill? He's going to go into lane. I don't think he's going to die for this. He could have. He could have dove for that, I feel like, if he wanted to. But
how often does Battery Assault being on cooldown be a limiter for Clockwork? He got 2 opportunities in melee range on supports. It's very rare that that happens, and that just is essentially mistakes from Signature Trust, and I think that's the only reason we've never seen that, because most supports would never get that close to
They would not be in that position, yeah, in the first place. I always forget how long the cooldown at level 1 is for Battery Assault, 32 seconds. I was like, I thought it was up and ready to go again. I thought he was doing the damage with it, but there was no mini stunts coming out. Boom Bells is going to wrap around with Jop. They're just going to try to zone out Lord Boons, the AKA, whatever it might be, Jop.
Both these guys do have boots, though, so that's the tough part. Like, what does a line do to compensate for this? He does have boots himself, but if they get on top of him, it's just over. If they're within Battery Assault range and a dive, he's dead no matter what. There's nothing a Zeus is going to be able to do to stop that dive, basically. So they're a bit weak on disables
Zeus
here.
is going for this ward or this rune again, and he's here early. Oh, he knows the ward's there. He lightning bolts it. That is odd. I would never expect him to know that ward is there, or at least go for that lightning bolt. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good guess. I guess he did die on the rune spot, so maybe he's like, yeah, I got spotted from somewhere. I'm sure he checked all these other places. He checked, he used a lot of mana actually early on trying to check for them, but didn't get him. Going for the top rune, actually, that is a Invis on Shadow Fiend, but now they know he's there. They're going to throw the stun. That should guarantee the rune. It's a haste. That's a big pickup. Dragon Knight doesn't really want to stay around, though. He doesn't have a bottle himself, so it's a little scary, but the rocket hits. That's a half HP Shadow Fiend, and with the Earthshaker there, I guess he's scared, but he maybe could have pressured that. I don't know if he would have gotten a kill. Probably a lot safer.
If he's level 6, he probably could go for that, I think, but he just wasn't there yet.
Definitely, yeah, with level 6, because then he could kite the Earthshaker, no problem.
Yeah, so cheap eye. He's just going to be farming it up here in the mid lane, level 5. God, these names are throwing me off so much. These are not the actual names.
Let's go to hero names, man. It's an easy way to do. Dive comes on the line. He's in a bit of trouble. Does get hexed up on the Clockwork, so no kill will happen there. And actually, Phoenix pretty low. He could potentially get killed here. Needs some blocking there. There's the stun coming through, and that is actually a dead Phoenix. That's sticking around a bit too long. They're like, oh, we're on the aggressive. They use their spells. It's fine, but one little nuke and a bit of block from the Earthshaker, and that's a kill.
That's a kill that I think gets Signature Trust back into this a little bit. They're diving top lane onto Boom Bells. Slicks has his level 3 Scream. He almost is level 6. If he killed that creep, he honestly killed the creep. Kill the creep, Slicks. Oh, that isn't going to be 6.
Wasn't enough.
He's like so close too. I was like, I thought that one creep was going to do the job, but no.
Not quite enough. I don't know if he had mana anyways yet. He would have had it actually. He was about too short. Dragon Knight getting chased down. Raise misses from my pro. That would have been huge. He's level 6. DK's going to have to go home unless they have a salve for him, which they might. No, they don't. Okay, so he probably has to go home. Yeah, I guess Clarity Potion actually being used by X here. That's going to save him some time, and he swings back to base, and Shadow Fiend is really happy with that. Did he take the stacks? He did not, actually. He was checking, though. He did check for the stacks. There wasn't anything huge there, so he's not going to spend his mana on it. If you found like a 3-stack or something, definitely would have been an opportunity, but nothing happens.
My pro now sitting mid. He's going to get some more room to farm. And now he's actually just crushing this lane. 34 last hits to the 20 of a DK, which is not unexpected for this lane. Dragon Knight never really expected to win a lane. There's very few instances where I'm like, yep, DK is going to win this matchup. That's not the case. He just kind of sits around, hopes to get the tier 1 tower, and go from there.
There are some players that can definitely do that. Like Fada, for example, plays a really good Dragon Knight mid, where he does remain pretty relevant on last hits, but takes a lot of skill and a lot of last hitting practice to be able to do that. So only the best pros, I feel, can last hit that well on Dragon Knight.
The top tier.
I like the pulling that's continuing on the top lane. Extinct is getting a ton of levels and farm on his Winter Wyvern. This is really significant. Getting to 6 fast in this hero is important because pre-level 6, his hero is a bit hit or miss. So 6 for him would be really nice. And also, it's pulling the wave back. And since Signature Trust didn't really have a typical offlane hero on their Earthshaker, they're now just trying to greed the Zeus there. And he has very few last hits. Essentially, he's just sapping experience. So the problem with Signature Trust's heroes is that, you know, Earthshaker was zoned very easily. He's transitioned into a support role. Zeus now is trying to get 6 on the top lane, but if Invasion can just stop them from getting levels there, they're winning all of their lanes essentially, with the exception of the Dragon Eye mid, who's getting less than the SF. But I think that's pretty good for them, honestly. 2 lanes of last hits and EXP, and mid going pretty okay, not as good, is going to be an alright place for them. Yeah,
this is something that ABBA had trouble earlier on Beastmaster in their game against MVP Phoenix. We saw MSS have trouble on the Earthshaker on the support role.
Complexity, so. I think. Or was that the games versus
game.
Mouse?
It was the Mouse. It was the first Mouse game.
It was.
And it's not unsurprising that the Earthshaker's having issues, but ABBA's just been getting crushed this tournament, honestly. He's been doing real poorly, and that's unfortunate, at least from the games that I've seen, which is very few, to be honest, but we'll see how it's going to be tough for him to find farm now. Like you said, the Zeus is leeching up levels top lane, which is great, but they essentially have 3 supports in this game so far.
Yeah, and usually when that's the case and the offlane doesn't get the most experience, it ends up being kind of a weird place. And it's mostly because heroes that typically classify as supports don't really, at least like an Earthshaker offlane, which is a hero that can offlane, but he just doesn't do as much at 6 as like a Beastmaster or something like that. A Beastmaster that's behind that gets a roar oftentimes can still be relevant, I feel.
Yeah. You set up for 1 gank, you get a roar off, you get a pretty prime real estate hero, and then you're back in business.
And in a way, I guess Earthshaker's similar. He's got a long-range stun, but Fissure's an okay nuke. It's not amazing. The stun duration's pretty good.
It feels like it can be hit or miss, though, because of the Fissure block actually kind of screwing up your team. If you get a great Fissure block onto like 1 or 2 heroes, like suddenly you might be in a good spot to get a kill. Echo Slam, obviously, but that's only really good if you have setup for it. Bottom lane, they're going to Fissure block, speaking of which, onto Shaitan. He might be in trouble here, and he is going to go down with kills.
Wow, that was ranged. That was a ranged stun. I mean, attack. Guess he had phase there, so very likely to catch up, but oh, another kill on Drip mid, actually. It's the Dragon Knight kill. That looks like Lion was there, so all of a sudden, with that little bit of pause, the ganks come, and a double kill there for Signature Trust.
They're not back in it yet, but that certainly does help. They do have a kill advantage, but that's not going to be nearly enough with how farm Slicks is. They do have a very, very, very farm Shadow Fiend, though, and that is a huge deal. 38 last hits with that kill now going through. He's even getting some stacks to work with. He's up to his treads now, a wand, a bottle as well. They're sitting top lane. Slicks could get ganked here. There is a BB or Boom Bells ready to go, and Jop is nearby as well to jump in with an Earth Spike if needed. TP comes in. He'll maybe blink away. He will get out in time. Jop was not ready for it. The Hex doesn't come through, and so they miss out on a gank, a pretty important one at that, and Slicks is going to head down and maybe get that 8-minute rune as well.
Yeah, the line should have shifted in a bit more early. As soon as the TP from the SF came, he got scared. And that was very close. If the Hex landed, that was a dead Queen of Pain. So stun on the bot lane. That's Cog in from Shaitan. He's gone for the rocket, but ooh, he does get to mana drain the kills a little bit. This is really important to be able to use your mana on Juggernaut with your ultimate is rare. He does have a lot of stat points, so his mana pool is a bit higher, but if he gets below 200 mana, he doesn't have an Omni Slash, and if you get him a bit lower than that, then he can't actually spin afterwards, so his options get a bit limited. One of the few weaknesses of Juggernaut in the early game. And a smoke coming, that's level 7 on Slick, so with these early levels, he's going to be rotating, going for a kill on this Juggernaut, and it's definitely a good target. If they can do a stun into a Quap ulti and a Scream, that should be a pickoff. And he actually jumps in right away. There it is. Doesn't even wait for his team. He's like, guys, I got this.
The Phoenix dives in. He's a little bit late. He's like, well, at least we got the kill. He wanted to make sure he secured it. That Scream Sonic Wave, the level 4 Scream, and of course the Sonic Wave going through the Magic community. And a right click, that's all they need. MyPro picks up the Dragon Knight mid, who is a little too far up, gets Fissure blocked, and you can see the pool of blood there where his body used to be. That's the cool thing about Dota, is the bodies just kind of fade into the ground and the earth, and they just kind of die there.
It's a feature, definitely. Dragon Knight's been dying a bit too much, though. 2 deaths on him now. He's only got 36 CS, so I guess it's okay for 8 minutes considering you've died twice, and he is creating space with his dying, but not the best place. He needs to stay relevant, and because of the amount of magic nukes that the Radiant team has, it becomes a little scarier. Maybe if he was only against physical damage, this would be fine, but there's a lot of burst damage coming out of Signature Trust, so he's got to be careful.
And we've talked a lot about DK and how magic is one way to deal with him, or in fact the way in the early game to deal with him. And DK is not going to be getting a BKB anytime soon. You look at what he has, it's a wand, it's tread, that's pretty much it. He's not going to be getting farm for a long time, not getting that big item, so... I will say Shatan, as well as the Queen of Pain, obviously very farmed. Slicks is doing very well for himself. He's got 2,000 gold. He's really saving up for what could have been a full Oblivion staff, or could be a full Oblivion staff at this point. Let's see if we go something else, though.
A bit of a curious 5-man farm the jungle for Invasion here. I don't know if they're hoping to find a team fight or not, but nobody on the Radiant Team Signature Trust was willing to come there. Instead, they're now shifting to the mid lane. Lakel's actually smoking himself. Is this a Roche attempt? Nope, they are drawing on the map. They're ganking. They want to fight. Definitely the right move to make. They actually held the healing ward. I guess that can't be smoked, so smart to leave it back. They're going to find Extinct, barely, and they don't see him. Oh man, that Omni Slash would just be a kill. Here comes the Fissure. It's going to spot him. Now there's Zeus ulti. That scores it, and a stun on Shadow Fiend, but Dragon Knight running for his life. He's going to be okay there. I guess it's an okay trade considering the smoking. Blink forward, going after the Earthshaker now. He doesn't have the damage for this. Isn't going to be enough. He's going to be just fine. Sitting in Fountain. Very close, though. 100 HP or so.
That Shadow Strike is not feeling too good, though, in his butt. He's actually taking some poison damage. He will regen up. He'll be fine. There was no Cold Embrace, by the way, on the Winter Wyvern. So even if she did get that, even if she had it, though, I think she would have still died to the Omni Slash. She probably wouldn't have gotten off at time. Extinct.
I think this is a game to get 1 point early on, honestly.
Ooh, Shatan gets fingered, and then the Lightning Bolt comes out from Boom Bells. That's another kill coming in. Signature Trust starting to rotate and get ganks here in this mid game. There's the Dragon Tail onto my pro. They're coming in. Slick says Shadow Strike ready to go. He even has his Sonic Wave as well as level 4 Scream, but they're not going to go for the kill. Fissure onto 2 just to zone them out. They can't really get that kill onto my pro, who's starting to get bit. He's got a mecha now. He's pretty big himself already. He's at the top of the net worth in the game, so...
I think the Wyvern had to get the skill point in Cold Embrace, though. This is the game to do it. It's a Juggernaut. You have a predictable way to render an ultimate completely wasted. Like, some games I could say, yeah, sure, more levels of Arctic Burn are fine because the cooldown's really long, but that extra skill point that he put in Arctic Burn, all it does is gives him more range, slightly more slow by 5%, and a lower cooldown and lower mana cost, barely. If with the 1 skill point to Cold Embrace, he could hypothetically stop 400 points of physical damage for the Omni Slash. At least one of those bounces could have been prevented, and as soon as he saw the Jug, he would have been like, okay, I'm going to have to do a Cold Embrace. And forcing them to spend an extra spell on him could have been really severe. So I disagree with the Extinct skill build this game. I think he wasn't quite looking at the heroes he was against. And
it's not like he's going to get it next level either. He's level 60, and he's going to have to get the Winter's Curse here. That is just too good of a spell to pass up. So, and it might be also, he might max out a Splinter Blast at 7. We might see Cold Embrace at level 8. And I feel like against Juggernaut, which you just touched on, that's very important.
I think I would maybe... I think at this point you kind of have to max Splinter Blast because getting in over 300 damage allows you to one-shot range creeps, and he can counter-push that way. This is actually the same build that I go in Winter Wyvern, with the exception of the skill build variation we just talked about.
Yes.
The Soul Ring, every 7 seconds you can cast a Splinter Blast. Soul Ring is obviously a much longer cooldown at 30, but with the Soul Ring alone, if your opponents do try to push, you have a super long range 340 damage AoE nuke. It's very good for counter push. I think that's the way you should be looking at Winter Wyvern, at least in the early game.
I want to talk to you about Wyvern and itemization because he feels like one of those heroes that doesn't have to get items. Like, it's really nice to get a Glimmer Cape, but it's not necessary. I feel like his skills are not... I don't know if they're good enough, but it feels as though you can get away without having items besides maybe a Soul Ring. On Winter Wyvern.
You don't need that many items, but I think the Soul or the Glimmer Cape is a really good idea since you can make somebody physical immune. A Glimmer Cape essentially makes them magic immune as well. I think it's a pretty good option. It's that or something like a drum or a mechanism with an arcane boots. Those are all options as well. You could go for staff. I think he's very flexible for what items he is. But mobility in the late game is really good because you can set up the perfect Winter's Curse. And you know, there's nothing wrong with getting.
There's
a
no
Quiver
one
Cape.
specific item build. It's not like you're a Witch Doctor, which he
Yeah.
also goes Urn sometimes, but like he rushes Ags 95% of the time. So
Urn can be okay in Winter Wyvern, but it's slightly contradictory, at least in the late game. Look at that little bit of Splinter Blast pulling the creeps back, and that should give the. Oh, I'm sorry, this tower might actually go down. They don't have a glyph. Will they dive on it? I don't
they
think
have
Lord
Supernova
Boons
here
can.
for the Phoenix. And they could go. They use the Arctic Bird. The TP's going to come in, but they have a gang wrap around. The Winter's Curse is going to go Supernova
Oh,
right into
bad
Lakel's.
place for the
Oh
Sun.
God, the Phoenix just dies. He's like, I was not expecting a Juggernaut to be there. He has his Omni Slash at the ready. Cog Push does not take him out of the mana range for usage of the Omni Slash. Extinct getting chased down as well. Alba ready with the Fisher in about 1 second too. But they won't chase him down. And Extinct TP's in a nice area as well. He'll get out, but it's an unfortunate Supernova is what I would call that.
It was really smart positioning from Signature Trust, though. They basically solo pushed with the Shadow Fiend for a very long time, and it looked like he was just trying to greed out the tower. But in reality, the wraparound heroes were sitting up on the high ground, and that it was a bit of an unfortunate egg there for Phoenix. He wanted to be within range, so he did damage, but he didn't want to give the SF the free right clicks. If he would have egged right on top of the Shadow Fiend, they might have been able to win that fight. But because of his positioning, he was just killed instantly.
Lakel's is like, I have a Mask of Madness. You did not Flame Spirits me. You are dead.
Yes.
It's like, what,
Even
4
if he
hits or
did.
something? 4 or 5 hits for Supernova level 1?
He was dead no matter
It's
what.
just ridiculous.
Definitely.
Oh, man, he was not. That's not great.
The initiation on the Shadow Fiend with no win and then him turning around and killing you is exactly what you don't want to do against SF. He already farms so fast. If you let him kill you in return, it gets even worse.
He is going to snowball. My Pro is sitting at an Ogre Club. I don't hope that's not a Volbeat KP flying out. It is not. He's getting close, though. A couple hundred gold, he's going to have that BKB, and all of a sudden, how are you going to burst him down? You do have Sonic Wave goes through the BKB. There is very little right-click, though, I feel like. There's a DK, and Corrosive Breath is okay. But Queen of Pain's right-click, I guess, is also okay. But other than that, like, Shadow Fiend up front is going to be tanking a lot of his damage and dishing it out as well with this early BKB.
Quap's almost got the Orchid, so maybe he can get some kills. I mean, like you said, BKBs might be a problem, but there's still a lot of targets for him to go on. Zeus only has 750 HP. Earthshaker doesn't even have Tranquils yet. He's actually rushing straight Blink. He's almost got it, actually.
Him and Jop are at like the same amount of gold, by the way. They're going to have like, they're going to get a creep wave, and that's going to be their Blink Dagger, and they're going to probably smoke up and go for a fight, maybe push a tower, and suddenly Signature Trust are going to commit to something, and Invasion are going to get destroyed.
Yeah, they're about to be so strong. See what X does with his 4th or 7th skill point here. Just holding it for now. Bit of tower damage on the mid lane. This should give Invasion some gold advantage that they
Splinter
needed.
Blast, by the way.
Okay, I think that's you know, because they're pushing now, I think this is a mistake. It should be a Cold Embrace.
He's not going to go for it. They blow up these creep waves so fast with Breathe Fire as well as Scream, and they're pushing into this tier 2 tower, and tier 1 tower bottom is just, it's tanking it up. They're eventually going to be able to push it down, but they need to get back home if they want to defend this, or Invasion could head back. They know that, yeah, they know they're TPing in, but this is where it's important. Zeus buys a smoke. There's 2 blinks that are just purchased at this time for Signature Trust. It is time for them to take a fight.
Yeah.
They have to find one first.
And this is why Invasion ran away. They knew that all the heroes were bottom. They're taking their tier 1. They said, okay, they're 5-man and we can 5-man somewhere else. But they're not ready to take a fight, and I think that's fair. Once the Dragon Knight gets a BKB, I think they'll be okay, because he doesn't have to worry about just getting blown up by Lion or Earthshaker. There still is that option in the future if they do initiate perfectly and start off before Dragon Knight BKBs, but if he's got the BKB up and the fight goes ideally for Invasion, which is a Clockwork Hook into Dragon Knight stunning somebody, they could definitely win the fight, but it's still scary. And the same goes for Slicks. He's got to get a BKB now because of all those Blink Daggers being up. They can just initiate on him and blow him up, or they can go after his Blink Dagger, for example. Quap actually a very squishy hero despite being able to move very fast. Did that get spotted? There were some pings looking like they did see a smoke.
They saw it. The Earthshaker pinged it out. They know exactly what's happening right now. They TP bottom with the Dragon Knight. Looks like everybody from Signature Trust, including Abla and Lakel's, will back away.
They got to know it's
They're getting wrapped on, though, in the jungle. They're drawing a line. They know exactly where this is coming
should be able to
from.
silence him.
Lakel's is going to get silenced up. Sonic Wave will go through. Echo Slap comes in onto Slicks. He tried to... Very good play from Invasion. Even though that smoke was seen, they walked right into it. They did not expect the Orchid perhaps to come out. I'm pretty sure that might have been the issue.
That was just good movement, I think, from from Slicks as well as the Extinct. Then instead of trying to catch behind him, assuming they stuck around, they said, okay, Dragon Knight showed, we'll catch him off in the jungle, and I think that was just really good movement from them, honestly, that they did predict that. And the Orchid working so well versus Jugger prevents him from spinning to become Magic Immune or Omni Slashing, so as soon as he gets Orchided, he's got to fight to the death, basically. And with the Orchid, or with the Quap Ult and the other damage coming out, it worked out fine. The Clock Hook was also relevant. They could have been a kill for Signature Trust if he didn't show up like that.
This is this Yasha that he has is going to have to be turned into a Manta style. This is one of those Manta games that you see. Juggernaut SNY is definitely common, or at least it used to be in 6.83, and now with a Orchid up on the Queen of Pain, Manta is almost a necessity here for Lakels. And if he goes anything else, I'd be very surprised. Oh, all right. He's going Sanjin Yasha. Apparently, he buys the Orchid or the Ogre Club rather.
I don't like that. I think it's definitely a Manta game. I guess they do have some ultimates that go through BKB, such as Winter's Curse, but man, that's dangerous.
Maybe he just goes straight into a BKB instead of going Sanjin Yasha first.
Okay, that's a possibility. That would work very well, honestly. Yeah, that's all right. He doesn't have to worry about Clockwork Battery Assault. He doesn't have to worry about Fire Spirits damage. He doesn't have to worry about getting stunned by DK. That's probably the better option in this game. Because if he just gets a Manta, he can still get stunned by DK and blown up right there. Yeah. So I think BKB is the better option. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, I hope he goes for B. I mean, he could still easily go for Sanjin Yasha, and then we'll be like, all right, well, you're tanky, but you're still dead anyway. So.
But if he does play it right and it's Shadow Fiend up in the front, then there is an opportunity for that not being an issue. But, you know, positioning is tough. BKBs are often the safer bet. You say, oh, I'm going to do my best not to get out of position, but if things go a little scary or I feel like it's time, I could just BKB and run in. If you win those team fights, the BKB generates you gold essentially by winning team fights. So, hook shot on mid, hits creeps actually, almost catching Lion, but not quite. Will they have the disable? Ooh, Shaitan really needed to land that hook shot, but instead he got creeps, and that results in Lion being able to hex and escape.
And that is Elder Dragon form not really being used to its full effect for the Dragon Knight.
No,
he does have his BKB.
He anciented with that. That was just the trail effect of it, you know. So he did an ancient stack with it.
Oh, I actually... Well, that'll get him up to some more farm after his BKB. Zeusol just to scout things out right now. So this is very important. Like Invasion are getting actually out-farmed and outlaned and outplayed currently by Signature Trust. And this is a game they desperately need to win. If they want their TI5 hopes to be alive, they have to win this series. Yeah. And Invasion right now are struggling. They're not finding the ganks. They aren't particularly getting too many kills. They got those 2 kills in the jungle. That's nice. Maybe they go for a Roche sometime here in the near future. They've got to do something. They just lost their tier 2 tower top lane. All their tier 1s are gone. And MyPro and the rest of Signature Trust are starting to get very farmed. Boom Bells is even getting up to maybe a 4-staff, maybe Yules. We'll see what he goes for. The Lion has a Blink Dagger. Juggernaut is getting, hopefully, a BKB. He could buy his full Sanj suit if he wanted to, but it looks like he might actually be picking up that BKB first, which I think is very important. If he goes for the Sanj, then I don't know. But the BKB, if he gets that, that'll be an important choice. Smoke up from Signature Trust. Where are they going to head?
They're having a tough enough time grabbing kills. They're going to run into Extinct on the right side jungle. Ward goes down. He uses Arctic Chill. They ran away. Oh, they split up a little bit. Zeus moved to the right, the rest of the heroes to the left, and a bit of miscommunication there results in not a dead Wyvern. I was like, Wyvern is dead for sure here. That's obvious, right? Sun comes on Lord Boons. If he can get his ulti off, he's going to be good. So a great hookshot buys him some time, but the Arc Lightning grabs him. And Shaitan as well. Blade Mail on, reflecting a bunch of damage, but it's not enough. Another Splinter shot by the Wyvern isn't going to be able to do anything. Splinter Blast, excuse me. So a mistake from Signature Trust leads into an invasion kill. I thought that was too greedy to go for that ward, even if they did see it get placed.
This is actually looking so bad for Invasion now. They're going to lose their tier 2 tower. Lakels is buying that BKB, which is it's a great choice. He desperately needed some way to get out of Orchid, plus all of the disables and damage that were coming through from Invasion. And BKB is the way to do that. He'll be able to fight. He doesn't have the most right click in the world as a Juggernaut early on into the game. He does have 2 points into the Blade Dance, but for now, the BKB is going to keep him safe. He actually is doing a decent chunk of damage here, and we'll see how things turn out. Slicks has to carry this game. He's going to be going BKB himself. He has 2.5k. His BKB is very close to completion. That'll be a huge pickup coming up from the Queen of Pain. For now, though, Purge, it feels like Invasion they don't really have an answer to the playstyle of Signature Trust and the items they've picked up as well.
I guess, like, the main items are obviously the stuns. You know, it's stuns facilitated by Blink Daggers, so, and they do have the solution against that. They have BKBs. Dragon Knight has his. He just traded his with the Shadow Fiend mid. Nothing really happened with that there, but and Queen of Pain building it as well. So in a way, I feel like they do have the counter. Zeus as well, very magic heavy for team fights. All they have to do is take good team fights, I think, and things will be okay. But unfortunately, they keep getting they keep getting picked off in small little positions here. So they're going to be smoking up themselves. We've got a smoke and some wards coming out here. And Lord Boons, level 8 with the Gloves of Haste. He's still got to be so careful. He's been getting picked off a bit too much here. When you play support Phoenix, you have to play so carefully. And, getting too close to the ward in the last fight just really put Invasion on the back foot, lost him another tower. So
these Gloves of Haste are going to be turned into a Midas eventually, but it's going to be a long time before that Midas comes into effect or even gets purchased. This game might be 40 minutes in before we see the full effect of that Midas, if you even get it anytime soon, which is going to be tough. So for now, Signature Trust playing as 5. They'll head down towards the bottom lane. They're getting ready to go to push the tier 2 tower. They're going to have MyPro up front, which is the right choice. He's going to have an ultimate orb, which probably should be a Scotty. He already has the BKB. Scotty seems like a good choice, just tanking up, like we mentioned. He's going to be the front liner, and everyone else on the backside is going to look to jump in. You have a jump in Echo Slam, jump in Earth Spike Finger, jump in maybe from a Zeus if he goes Force Staff, Lightning Bolt. He doesn't need to with the Zeus Ult, and then of course jump in Omni Slash from the Juggernaut. Big circles being drawn around the map for Invasion, rather for Signature Trust, saying, listen, they could be here. We could take Roche. We could take the Vision here near this tier 2 tower that just died. Invasion just kind of TPing. They have a smoke of the sea. Will they use one? They're going to try to fight this. This could be terrible if they do not. Oh, the Zeus Ult comes out. The Zeus Ult. Oh, that's huge. And suddenly the Vision, so important.
It's still decent for Invasion here because they have an Observer Ward. They knew exactly where Signature Trust is. Look at this. They're spotting out the Earthshaker. They're spotting out the Shadow Fiend. They know where they are. And somebody just TP'd back. That was Juggernaut. He's not there. Wyvern Curse coming in. There's the Egg as well. And this is a really good start of the fight to Invasion. They're chasing Earthshaker. It's very low, 97 HP. Shadow Fiend running for his life. The Phoenix Egg finishes up. Winter Wyvern does get killed. But the Silence now and the slow and Shadow Fiend. And there's the right click. Shadow Fiend goes down.
Huge.
Can they get Zeus as well is the question.
He's trying to TP. They need cogs. They need cogs. They need something. Shatan could have cogged right there. Would have pushed him. Would have stopped the TP. Decided against it. They do take the fight 2 for 1. The BKB did get off for the Shadow Fiend, which took them a while to get the kill because of it.
Yeah.
But that's fine. They still get a big, big bounty in the Shadow Fiend. He was level 15. He is the highest in net worth. And, of course, the Queen of Pain getting involved. I'm not sure if he got the kill. I think it was... I don't know who got that kill, actually. It was Phoenix that got the kill. So that'll get him up to his Midas, or very close to it anyways. So that's pretty good. Not a bad fight. Obviously, the smoke comes through. It was scouted out by the Zeus Ult, but it doesn't matter. They end up getting 2 kills, and from there, they're not back into the game just yet, but they get something out of it.
They've got to be happy with that. That Observer Ward that they had did so much. It spotted where the enemy team was. So despite the enemy team knowing they're smoking, they just stuck around. That was weird. It was like, why send the Juggernaut back? If you know they're smoking, they're going to try to take a team fight. You have a gold advantage, and I assume they do at least. They do have a big gold advantage. They said, okay, we're ahead. We're pushing towers. We're willing to fight them. But all of a sudden, they smoked, and the Jug TP'd back. So it's like, they're going to take a fight. If the rest of your team stuck around, they were going to get gone on. I guess they thought, oh, we can win 4v5 or something. I don't know. I feel like that wasn't the best decision making. Maybe it was just a panic TP from the Jug, and the rest of his team was sitting around saying like, oh, well, you just left. I guess, what do we do? We're going to walk back together, and then bam, they got initiated on it. That leads to 2-for-1 kill. Not terrible for Signature Trust, but considering they're ahead, you don't want to make those trades.
So Invasion getting kind of lucky there with their positioning on the side of Signature Trust, and from there, maybe that gives them the momentum they're looking for. Signature Trust, they could easily still give this game over to Invasion. I mean, they had a 7,500 net worth lead that's dipping down to about 5,000 now. Invasion together, they're looking for maybe Roche. We haven't seen it taking it this game. Could be very important. They're going to smoke up. They're going to actually go into the enemy jungle. Now they're maybe in trouble on the side of Signature Trust. They're going to wrap all the way around. They know exactly where they are. This ward's still paying off. They're right next to it. Signature Trust, they might get initiated on the kills. BB, they're going to go into lane real quick. Leading the way is going to be Extinct.
They're going to get the glory Winter's Curse into Hookshot. Here comes the Hookshot in a second. They go on the Earthshaker. Good initiation. Silence on the line as well. Oh my god, great initiation. That's 1 going down, 2 going down. Lakel's right-clicking the Dragonite if he can. He's taking a lot of physical damage. Actually, the Omni Slash doing big work. And the cores of Signature Trust. This is not looking good for Invasion. Will he be able to stun? He doesn't have a Bashery here. And the rest of Invasion retreating. Good fight, I think. They lost their mid-Dragonite due to the Omni Slash and the minus armor of Shadow Fiend, but they cleaned up the backline of it as well. So it gets a little scary here. They lose their one hero that can deal with BKBs, basically. but they clean up the backline of Signature Trust. Probably gold advantage coming for that. So it's pretty good for Invasion, but somebody has to eventually deal with the Jug and the Shadow Fiend. They don't really have the best solutions, especially with a support Phoenix. This guy can't just lock those heroes down. What does he do? He can reduce their attack speed, but they've got BKBs. This is really the weakness in the Phoenix support.
I think you have to cold embrace the Jug.
Good point.
And hope to God that you have enough right click or that the heroes hit him hard enough.
Do you mean his Winter? Do you mean Winter's?
Yeah,
curse?
sorry.
Okay.
I get those two confused
I was
all
like,
the time.
you can't cast that on opponents. If you could, it's like, oh, 4-second stun? Okay, I'll take that. That's where I'll make you magic immune. I don't care.
But you're healing him up at the same
physical
time. I don't know. That'd be funny, honestly. But really what it comes down to is the DK goes down. That's fine. They're happy with that. I think Invasion did a really great job of disengaging there. They're like, okay, we have no Sonic Wave left. We have all of our abilities expended. Let's get out. DK was not so lucky. He got focused down. That's fine. They're okay with that. Jop is not okay with dying top lane. It looks like it's going to happen. Sunray comes out. The Urn Charge. Earth Spike. Oh, he gets a finger rebuttal kill before he even dies. Jop actually will fall to extinct in the end with the Winter Wyvern getting the kill. But
I think they're honestly happy with that, despite the line getting experience. I think putting levels like that on Winter Wyvern is really crucial here, because that's an extra level in Winter's Curse. It lasts for 3 seconds now.
He's almost got his Glimmer Cape. He's 125 gold away-ish.
He's actually got it. It's only, isn't it only 1,400 for the rest of the rest no, it's cheaper now.
No, they changed it?
They changed it back when Shadowblade, even before Glimmer Cape. It's 1,400 now, so he's got it. That'll be Glimmer Cape for the Wyvern.
It's new patch, man. I can't keep up with it.
That's good against Juggernaut. If Juggernaut doesn't have vision, his Omni Slash will stop hitting people, and there's decent magic damage coming out of Zeus and Lion as well. So I think the Glimmer Cape's pretty good here. But most importantly, I think Wyvern is a hero that really wants to get 11 fast, because 4 levels on Arctic Burn means really low cooldown here. Zeus Ult's going to spot out the rest of Invasion. They take the Roche, and that's an Aegis for them. But in the meantime, Invasion might be able to get this tower in time.
They're going to use the Glyph. They'll TP back. And I don't think this DK should stay for too long.
Ooh, can they blink stun this SF? Do they want to go for it? No, they're playing it safe. It'd be dangerous, definitely. Looking by our perspective, it's, oh yeah, easy kill. But
yeah, they have no idea. They have no real vision behind this tower at all. And they don't know who's sitting there. Maybe they could be baiting. That would have been a ballsy play, and I'm down for the ballsy play, but when Invasion have their tournament life on the line in this game, they have to go for the safe play. And
especially behind.
Yeah.
So they play it safe. They're, at least based on the wins and losses so far, they're the better team, but Signature Trust is definitely winning, and they have the Aegis as well. So at this point, they just avoid fights for 6 minutes, I think.
Yep.
Move around the map, farm, avoid fights. Look at this pressure in the top tower. They get an extra value out of this Dragonite ulti. That's a dead tower for sure.
The tier 3, however, in the middle lane might be...
That's a way to force fights.
My Pro is just going up to the high ground. The Glyph will go. He pops up the Healing Ward as well. They have the Echo Slam ready to go. Where are the TPs coming out? Finally, Invasion are getting back in. Shatana has a hook shot ready to go. Cog push. Not going to be there. Lakel still has the Aegis. Arctic Burn coming out from Extinct.
He should dive for this to kill the Healing Ward, or at least he should have. Lakel's very, very low
this
from
tier
that.
3 might just die. Abba not going to walk up. They'll raise. They'll finish up the creep wave. They actually block themselves from being able to enter the base and actually hit this tier 3 tower one more time to get the kill. They could deny it, though.
If Healing Ward, I really think if he killed Healing Ward there, they would have saved a lot more tower HP. Because then the nukes they were throwing was actually going to slow them down. Like, Winter Wyvern's a really good anti-siege hero. His Arctic Burn does something like 40% of their total HP and magic damage, or the current HP and magic damage. And Splinter Blast as well, great counter push, but the Healing Ward just kept them full HP. So the tower is given in the same vein that would have limited his ability to Supernova perfectly in the next fight, but I think it would have been worth it there. They don't have the best, I guess they very easily could have been stunned by Lion or Earthshaker, but it would have been a little hard. I don't know. It's a hard call. Definitely the more conservative play what he did there.
Yeah, I think the conservative play when you're behind, you have to kind of wait for an initiation, but you can't wait now as they're going to go for the Rax. Jop's going to jump in. He'll get the DK. There's going to be the Arctic Bird coming out from Extinct with Hells. Now there's going to be the Cold Embrace. Forced out. BKB's pop. Sonic Wave does connect, but now Lakel's up in the front line. Look at this DK. Gets Omni Slash. It jumps to the creep wave. Lakel's is like, are you kidding me? I don't think he would have gotten the kill regardless. There's going to be an Echo Slam jumping onto 2. Abba gets the Fisher. They bring him down. The DK out of dragon form now. There's going to be a huge Requiem. Slicks is dead as well. Invasion, this might be it. They're going to lose the Phoenix as well. He doesn't have the buyback. Actually, he does. It's the Winter Wyvern that doesn't have it. Jump in. There's no Dragon Tail coming in. Actually, there wasn't Lakel's, but the buyback's coming through, forced out. They even buyback on the Earthshaker. He's just walking down mid right now at this point. They want to get back in. They want to force this. It looks like I think they still have the Aegis on the kills. They absolutely do. It's a great fight for Signature Trust. They don't get the racks, but those buybacks expended. And you have to wonder how Invasion are going to win this game now. They just have no farm anymore.
On the bright side, they didn't get the racks, but it's a decent trade for where Invasion is, but man, they still have Aegis, don't they? God, they still have Aegis. They still have their cores up. There wasn't a whole lot put out of that by Signature Trust. The Phoenix had hit nothing, by the way. I don't know if you caught that, but it was far in the upper left. It was over by the tree clump, and the explosion didn't catch anybody. There was no value added to that fight out of Phoenix, I felt. And he's had just, I mean, he's got some KDA going on, but I feel like his performance has been a bit weak here.
Yeah, this Phoenix not having a great time. They really need something to get going. There's going to be another Icarus dive. Supernova on cooldown for 28. Lakells is just going to spin. Hookshot goes through. I think there's the BKB coming out. BKB as well for the DK. He's got 22 seconds for his Elder Dragon form. They'll lose the melee racks. MyPro going to get forced away. Invasion are in a rough spot. The melee racks is down. Lakells is looking to jump in and maybe fight Shaitan, Lord Boons, and Extinct and all them, but they will back away. Aegis is still there for a period of time. It looks like he's going Scotty next. He already has the Ultimate Orb ready to go. I don't know, man. Invasion just, they don't have the damage. We talked about it to deal with the Juggernaut or the Shadow Fiend, let alone both of them.
I mean, they did pick the Quap, right? And the idea is that Quap can snowball really hard, but if he replaces the position of your hard carry and Signature Trust ganks the DK a bit, then all of a sudden you have no physical damage. I feel like Signature Trust either basically looked at the draft of Invasion and they said, okay, this is the linchpin. If we get this guy, they have no physical damage, they can't deal with Jug or Shadow. They basically needed the Dragon Knight to do really well this game, and even still, he doesn't match up that great versus SF or Jug, both of which have counters. SF has a lot of magic damage, and Juggernaut just has Omni Slash. You're like, okay, you have a lot of armor, but you got to tank this. Good luck. So that was a pretty... The fact that Dragon Knight got a little shut down, and that Slicks has done well, but he didn't go insane, prevents them from having a gold advantage.
The gold advantage is going to be huge necessity, and honestly...
Got the healing ward this time.
This is just... The healing ward, that's fine. I don't know if they still... The Aegis is gone, but he's got a Scotty. They could still push this. I know they don't want to throw anything away, but they could have still pushed there and easily taken a fight and probably just won the game. There's no buyback at this point. If they just... And there's nothing that they need to play for. They can play aggressively here. They could go for the win. They decide against it. The only buyback they have on Invasion is the Clockwork, and he's not that big of a factor. He could be, but at this point, Signature Trust will do the smart thing. They'll back away. They could easily still go for this win if they wanted to, but they decide against it. And I guess that patience is nice. But this does allow Invasion to get a little bit bigger. There's a hood picked up for the Phoenix, so that'll probably be eventually turned into a pipe. Here's that nice spell resistance.
They don't have a mech, do they?
I don't believe so.
I would have liked him to get a mech instead, I think. It's kind of hard to use on a Phoenix if you're ulting and you're like, wow, I really wish I could use a mech right now. And you can't, but I guess any item is going to be... At this point, Pipe in some ways will also give more survivability than Mech. Mech's what, 250 HP, Pipe is 400 potentially, if not more. But look at this, almost a butterfly on Shadow Fiend. The physical damage problem becomes even harder, especially Dragon Knight picking up an Ogre Club. I don't know what this is going to be, maybe a Halberd or something. He basically needs as much stuff as he can get right now, because if they don't win these next couple team fights, basically win every team fight from here on out, their game is over.
I don't see how they're going to win a team fight. Maybe with a jump in, Lakel's going to jump on. Cold Embrace comes through. They might be able to bring it down. They will. That is a huge pickup, and now you have to back away if you're Sig Trust. And they might be able to make it out. Boom Bells is pretty low. Jump forward from Slicks. They will find MyPro. BKB Susol. Echo Slam onto 3. Requiem. That just won them the game. Chop gets forced forward. They're going to finish up all 5 heroes. They're dead in the dirt. BB with a double kill. MyPro as well. No one expects the turn. The buyback from the support Winter Wyvern and the Clockwork in the off lane. Can they do enough here? I think the answer is no. Although Splinter Blast does some damage. Extinct gets hexed up. Jop looking for an Earth Spike. There's going to be the Lightning Bolt. Force away. They need to finish off the Tier 2 tower. They will. They don't finish off the game just yet. Maybe they back.
Kind of low. They're really low, actually.
Yeah, they really are.
Hookshot in 5. If he gets a good hook here, this could be really big, but there's a lot of creeps in the way.
Chop's going to run in. He's looking for a hex up. He can't find it. Nice Splinter Blast from X, but they can't actually do anything with it. Good Glyph coming in. They have the respawn in 30. They're going to lose this set of Rex regardless. I think they're really zoning it. The line just walked in and followed the Clockwork for a good 5 seconds.
I think they're giving up a little bit here. I think the clock could have gone in and killed the line there easily. I guess he does have a force, but there's the hook shot coming through. Does catch him finally, cogs him in as well. Battery cell is used, and now he's got to chase. One mistake with cogging in when they have a force staff is that while you're hexed, you can't break the cog. So Shaitan not able to snag the kill, and that is going to be the melee barracks going. So Invasion does still have an option here, but they need to get items very rapidly. Slicks has 3.4k in his inventory, and they need to win the next couple fights.
What do you go for here as the Queen of Pain, though? Right click? Like an AC or something?
I feel they're so close to losing the game that I'd almost say spend your money and then get like a Deso or something.
Yeah.
I think Deso is actually the right choice because they have weak physical damage, but the same problem is, you know, they have butterflies, so Deso is kind of countered as well. At least there's a butterfly in Shadow Fiend. He kind of needs an MKB.
You need like some damage.
He bought a Demon Edge. It'll probably be an MKB. I think this is the right move here, and maybe this is their plan all along, transition into physical damage, but they need to win the fight like they did last time. They initiated on the Jug, they chain stunned him, he wasn't able to BKB, and they killed him. And that worked great, but then they overdove a little bit, and it led into a Fissure and a Requiem that did full damage to 3 heroes.
That 3-man Echo Slam was huge.
Yeah, it was an Echo? Okay.
Yeah, it destroyed them.
Really, really nice echoes coming out of him. They did have an Observer Ward on the high ground, so they saw Invasion moving in. Just a huge vision advantage. It's the problem with chasing your opponents like that you're less likely to take the fight correctly. So Rocket coming to Roshan. It's actually going to spot out the respawn. It'll be any moment here. And then Invasion has got a smoke. They've got the smoke ready, so they should be able to get there in time, despite it being a Jug and an SF. And surely they'll move there right now. They don't see Signature, though.
Yeah, they don't have a vision for Signature Trust. The Flare is actually going out mid to push that out. There's a line drawn. They have a clear idea of what they want to do. They have a smoke as well, but by the time they get there, is Roche going to be dead? The presence of the Dark Lord, there's even a Scotty for my pro. Lakel's doing the right-click damage. They just, I don't know if they can get there in time.
They smoke a little late. That's it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, they have to get a hook shot like now, and that's just not going to happen. Smoke's actually going to break. Good blink away coming up from the Earthshaker just to make sure he scouts this out. They're going to go to fight anyways, it looks like. And now Jop's going to get Glimmer caped in. Zeusalt will fly through. They actually put the pipe a little bit early. They're going to get the DK. Scotty is up. DK cannot afford to die. Good force out. Omni Slash will finish him off. Dead for 60. Shaitan as well. Good cold embrace, but Finger's going to finish him off. And that is GG. Invasion are going to be out of the running for the TI5 SCA qualifiers. Signature Trust, their first real solid game of the tournament, I think, Burge. They played damn well, honestly.
Yeah, I think they definitely did that well. They had a couple mistakes in the laning stage with the supports getting caught by Clockwork, but as a whole, they got some really solid kills on the Phoenix as well, and they take Invasion out. Invasion has no chance of getting top 2 in their group. What even